So welcome to the channel. If you landed here to do a top end on a Sherco 450 SEF. And I'm sure this will translate to 300 and others, other models. I love the bike. Love the 2021 Sherco. It's great for a big guy like me. I have just absolutely enjoyed riding it. You know, KYB, Brembo brakes. I mean, everything on it is amazing. The rims, you know, it's a great bike. What I don't like is how expensive it is to find parts for the engine. Now, clutch, all that stuff, relatively on par with most stuff, most bikes. But like when I went to search for the piston, Partzilla, Revzilla, Rocky Mountain, none of those places carried a piston or a top end kit for the 2021 Sherco. And I got discouraged because when I started to look at some of the places that carried parts, it was like $450, $440 for a piston. That's not including the gaskets or any of the other things that you would run into doing a top end. So I did find a place in Minnesota called Thomas Snowsports. I'll put a link in the description. He has a piston for 315 bucks. It is a good piston. It is right out of Italy from Pistol Racing. And like, you can go on their website, you can't find Sherco on their website, but this is where the piston came from. And as you can see, it's forged unit. It says Sherco right on the bottom of the piston, right there. So it's a good setup. $315 is more doable than $400 and some odd dollars. We got the Cometic gasket kit, which is like 80 bucks. Bought that here in town from Motocenter in Mesa. And then the shims are 8.9, so basically what KTM uses. So there's some KTM stuff that swaps with this bike, like the master cylinders and clutch levers and stuff like that. So there is some stuff that's really cool. You can even get KTM rims for this, and they sell spacers, and so you can get rims cheaper, etc. Anyways, let's just dive into it. We hate long introductions. All right. Well, here we go. So this is a 5mm Allen. So those have got to come out. Once we get all that done, I'm just doing it right now. It's all good. We'll leave them there for a moment. Yeah, for those of you following the actual mechanics workbook that they have online, it's much better to pull the swing arm all the way out. And how we did that is we pulled this one out, and then we pulled this one, the mid one, and then this one, and then the whole assembly will come out. You got to take your brake line as well.
You wear that glove.
Yeah, that way I didn't get my hands completely full of oil. Every time I do the oil on this, I get my hands covered in oil. A little drip, that's, you know, no big deal.
Go in the right order.
So when you're doing the engine stuff, you really want to keep all the engine stuff with the engine, all the engine hardware with the engine hardware. We'll just use that for all our hardware. And this should come up. Oh, of course, it's going to probably be a little bit of a bee sting to get up. So we're going to try and love tap this thing off.
Eesh.
Don't do that. Boy, that thing is on there. All right.
Starting to come up.
All right. That was on there. Oh yeah, top dead center. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So take the spark plug out first there, boys and girls. And this is a long spark plug. If you don't have the right spark plug, don't really have a pointer in there, does it? Oh, I remember. It has a special little bolt. And you had to take the washer out. Did by that unwanted oil. So if you look, it's called a top dead center timing screw, and it gives you a part number in their workshop manual. It gives you a whole list. Like I said, you can go to Sherco.usa, Sherco.com or ShercoUSA.com, and you can download all these different tool manuals. Sorry. So how did I get to that point? Well, here, removing the engine, getting to the spark plug, remove timing control plug, and then rotate the motor counterclockwise in order to align the center of the hole of the crankshaft with that of the crankshaft timing control. Set the top dead center timing tool on. So we don't have the lock-off tool. We were going to try and make one, and it was a fail. It has to have a very sharp point. So I know it's in top dead center. I have taken my blue paint pen. I have marked this and this, and then that's the. And so we're pushing on. So we're going to remove these 8 bolts next. All right. It's a little. So right?
Right.
I not break that one? Oh, I guess not. Why'd you let me do that for? All right.
I'm focusing on filming here, man.
I got it. All right. Come right off, which it does, and we can inspect. Yeah, so it all looks really good. We like it. Nothing that you can feel, drag your finger over. So we're going to call that good. And then, see how these cams work? This is a lot easier than a YZ, man, where you have to do that whole timing chain thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the timing chain only goes over
Just this one.
one.
Yeah. So
That's brilliant.
that's always your, oh, I see. It says flange. So it tells you that's the flange. That's your timing mark. That's pretty cool. And then it has your cam. And then cam. Take the cam tensioner off.
Things gonna get me every time.
And I'm assuming that this has got one of those attentioners where you can,
Set that.
yeah, it seems like an auto attentioner kind of thing. Sure seems that way. One. Yeah, and you probably have to set it down in there with this little, take this off and you can pull it back down. I am guessing. So that is nice and loose. Then it says to take so I'm guessing some kind of dust cover of some sort. And then you,
Did you grab both sides?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it threads or it's just, it just pulls.
Just pulls.
Oh, it just pulls, boys. Look at that. Oh, I see. See the little, it only goes in one way. All right. Interesting. All right, there we go. And then you can pull, I
think you should be able to pull the gear out. There we go.
There went the chain.
And that's all right. We got to take it all apart anyways. And there's the cam gear. And there's the cam chain. Okay. We're getting there. Oh my gosh.
All right, let me hold the...
Well, at least we know they were torqued done good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing, since these aren't torqued to yield, that you just torque it to a specific foot-pound or newton meters.
Depending on if you're from the UK.
Yeah, or Australia. Don't do this alone. I'm straight pulling this engine off the stand.
That's where you're supposed to lock those in.
Was that why?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yeah, so you don't pull it off the stand.
So glad you're here to tell me these things. All right. So again, if you're wondering why we pulled the engine, it's because this is a stud type engine, and you cannot boy, I almost need a magnet for that. Boy, I could see bad things happening here. Big one.
I need to be picky.
I'm picky. There's that one. Yeah, I can imagine dropping that in there and being really sad that you dropped it in there.
Don't do that.
There we go. Oh, I don't see anything on this side. I think I read somewhere where somebody had a rubber mallet, which, you know, I like to spend all my time chasing. All right. Oh boy. Here she comes.
That piston.
Oh, that looks good, man. She was running good.
Little gunk on her.
Yeah. Good old Cometic gaskets on there too. I'm liking it. All right. The chain holding this from. chain wasn't letting me pull that piston. Wonder if I can pop that off. And then I can measure that. That'd be nice to do. Guess it is the same. That's good. I'm glad it's the same. Aren't you? I am too. All right, so you've probably watched enough videos to know when you're taking that circlip off on the piston, just a little added protection for everybody, because the last thing you want is that little circlip there ending up in the engine. Unless you like circlips in your engine, then by all means sprinkle some of that in there. You basically got to get in here and not stab yourself. So yesterday we pulled the motor out of the bike, got the bike on the stand. A couple things you want to do: drain your oil first. You can drain it if you have a stand, but make sure your stand's high enough. What was the other thing? You don't really necessarily need the lockout tool as long as you have it within the, you got the little hole lined up in the timing hole that we showed earlier. And then when you're taking off the piston, do yourself a favor and turn the engine around and do it from this side so you're not contending with this. Like I said, I'm not changing the timing chain. The timing chain's in great shape, so there's no need for me to go into all that. So would have been a lot easier to pull the circlip from this unobstructed side versus the side with the timing chain guide. Let's see, I think that's really about it. You know, just making sure that when you take the circlip off, you don't release too many F-bombs. Right, Josh? That's right. So again, the piston, I mean, it's about what you would expect from a bike on 100 hours. It's really clean. That right there is from my screwdriver, helping me know what top dead center is on there. Being that I've never done a Sherco top end before. I think this bike has got some great things. Like the engine has got some really cool things. It's got these oil squirters that squirt the piston. It's kind of interesting that this bike comes from France, but I'm pretty sure that says made in Japan right there. But the piston, as you can see, I mean, I probably could have gone longer without having to do a top end, but now we know, so it's all good. So I thought, just for fun and giggles, we could see the ring gap. It didn't smoke, and it certainly had lots of power. It wasn't low on power at all. I just did this because the manual says, hey, at 100 hours you should probably do a piston. So we are just going to shove that in there and get it in there nice and even. And oh yeah, that's a good ring gap. 16. Yeah, that's a good ring gap. So we like that. We like that a lot. And this is another thing too. This is this is not a 2-ring oil ring piston. This is like reminds me of the Weiscos that you can get for YZs and Hondas and whatnot. But that's definitely a racing type piston for sure. Really in good shape all the way around. I'm really just debating to whether even run a hone in it, because I don't know if it'll show up, but the cross hatching is still there. And on some of that wearing, like you can't feel it with your finger, but that's where some of the skirt on the you can see on the back side. I don't know. I think we might be able to do it, but like all the carbon on it it's not like buildup. Like you can take it off with your fingernail pretty easy. I don't know. I'm not sure. I bought a hone just to do it, but you know, that's to knock the glaze off. I don't know. We might just run it through real quick, just for fun. And then once we get to putting the piston in, I'll show you the valves and we'll clean the head up and all of that. Man, those things are like stuck in there pretty good. I think I have some Honda Bond that we can, that way I don't have to, like that is in there, man. Like, I'm not sure if I can get that one out, but anyways, back to this. That was a probably decent overview, I imagine. Like I showed, I don't know if I showed this in the other part, this is part 2, but there's like very minimal side to side and there's no up and down. So it's in really good shape. The engine, of course, since I bought it when it had 40 hours on it, and the guy I bought it from took really good care of it too. So I've changed the oil about every 4 to 6 hours, but it's in really, really good shape internally, in my opinion. And yeah, so we'll have to pull the rest of this and clean this up. So if you're doing this, the multi-layer gasket is for the head. The single layer gasket is for the cylinder. Man, boy, that's gonna fight me, isn't it? I might have to take that cover off, because I don't think I'm gonna get that new gasket. Maybe I can. Maybe I just pull that chain up. Maybe if we pull the chain up, we can get that to
Squeeze together.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think I had that problem when we were pulling this apart too, didn't we? Yeah, we did. That's right. All right, crisis averted. No babies or animals were harmed yet.
I'll add the laugh track in later.
All right. Well, the most part, man, that is really, really clean. When you're scraping gaskets with razor blade, just take your time, you know. You don't want to get a gouge in the aluminum if you can help it. All right, so if you got soft jaws, I recommend doing this with soft jaws. And you don't need to crank it down. And you want some oil. Now there's actual cutting oil. I'm not trying to cut oil. I'm not trying to cut any of the bore. I just want to break the glaze. And so we want to make sure that everything we use is clean. And everybody said, yay. And you can use whatever oil you want. I don't think it's really going to matter. All we're trying to do is get some oil in the cylinder. All right, and then you can even use WD-40 if you want. But you don't want, come on now, you don't want this to be dry at all, as it will scratch that cylinder. And I think a good, well, I made a mess. I think a good WD-40 or Croil, something that you can use that's not going to embed itself. Jack of all sprays, great oil. All you're trying to do is get the ball hone at least covered with oil. So whatever misses in the whatever you miss in the oil in the cylinder, so you're not scratching the cylinder. Does that make sense? Yeah, don't want to scratch the cylinder. The other thing, yeah, that's probably going to be pretty tight. You can buy these on Rocky Mountain too. You want at least 320 grit or higher with a Nicosol cylinder. All right, let's see if this will just that's all we're doing. And I hope that makes sense. And you don't want to lay this on the table and get junk in it. All we're trying to do is just break the glaze. And see, that's all I need right there. You don't need much more than that. See that? Beautiful. And then this goes without saying, but you want to make sure you clean the cylinder well after you do your business. A good brake clean will work. We can live with that, bro. So, can tell where it gets sticky is where the water comes through. Okay. So the next part we want to do before we get too far along here is check our ring gap. Some you have to do this with like when you're building a V8 engine, you got to do this with every ring, every bore, if you're really into the building a clean engine. We want to get this in here, and then we take our piston, make sure it's square. Oh yeah. And what was it before? 16 thou. And there's 15 thou. Yeah, look at that. We're looking good. There's 14. 14. Yep, we're good. So, still good. I'm gonna keep it. And when you're putting on the rings on your pistons, probably should do the oil rings first, but there's usually a mark on the ring, and that usually means in means up, neutral up. It could mean something else, but I've just always been taught that if it has an actual stamp on it, that goes up. Okay. And we got our oil rings here, and then there's a whole science to that. Depending on if you're an old timer, talking to old timers, which, you know, now that I'm 56, I guess I'm in that group, maybe.
You qualify.
I don't know if I qualify as an old timer. So typically I do the bottom oil ring land first. And so like if you look on a website, it'll show you want a gap here, ring gap back here, and then your actual ring on one of the sides. Ultimately, you don't want them to be, you don't want the gaps to be lined up. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Right? Yeah. So, and the oil ring can be fiddly. Alright, so well, I put the spring in first, the spring piece in. I was having a hard time getting the actual ring, the metal piece, to play nice with the ring. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. But there you go. So we're trying to make sure that our gaps are not lined up. That's really what it boils down to. Then you have your next one. Put that right here. Because in a good running engine, the rings will turn. They move. They're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our main ring. And there we go. And now we're good. So the intake is the bigger reliefs. So we know that's intake. Intake is this side. And so what you want to do is you want to install whatever side you're going to install from. In this case, we're going to install the snap ring on this side of the piston, so we're not fighting it when we try to install from the other side. If that makes sense. I think y'all got what I'm saying on that. And it's pretty simple, but also can be fiddly. You want to push that spring, hold that spring down, and push this in while you're holding it down, and to get it into that groove. Like I said, it can be, this is when snap rings fly, which we don't want. So start it in that groove and then start bringing it down. Some guys work it down this way, how I just push that down, and then all you're doing is trying to push the ring into that groove without sending it off into outer space.
Sweet. It's much easier than taking it off.
Yeah, very much easier. And some guys, there's different philosophies, I guess, but some guys like to push the ring away from this little deal. I don't really know if that really matters or not. But if you can see what I mean, if it gets caught on that, you're not pushing it anywhere. Some guys are like, no, it needs to be over here. As hard as it was to remove them damn things. Anyways, all right, so before I so rudely interrupted myself. Piston comes with a new ring, and you're going to want to oil that before you knock that in there. I would say it's got like some packing, really sticky packing stuff on it. I would just rinse all that off. All right. Just need enough to get it on there so it'll slide in there. Oopsie. And all we're trying to do is get this part started, and it should just slide in there really easy. You shouldn't have to fight this at all. You don't want to fight that. Let me put it that way. So then once you get it where you're in there and you know that's where it goes, you're going to push that and send that home. All the way home. And now the fun part. So, again, you want to get it in that groove. Oh, did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I was almost a scene of a bad movie. Yeah, it's going to have to be that way. It's going to have to go that way. All right. Let's see. Now, guys that probably do this all day probably have no fear whatsoever. I'm not that guy.
sure that's in all the way?
Oh yeah. Yes, sir. That is in all the way. It's bottomed out against the other circlet. So I wonder what's going to be easier, pushing it down. As you can see, once you get it like lined up, that's the hard part, man. Some guys walk this in with a screwdriver. I've seen that, where they take a screwdriver and they try to walk it down like that and just push it in like that till they get that piece right there, and boom, you're in. And there you have it. One piston almost installed. All right. So it's all head stuff. Right. Oh, look at that. Gave me new exhaust gasket too.
That's cool.
Yep. Now I am sure right, wrong.
What's the difference between right and wrong?
Well, I guess we're going to find out.
Oh, it should stick out.
So we know that is wrong, right?
That's wrong.
And this is a one-way only fit gasket. This gasket will not work the other way. These holes won't line up. So that ought to make some people happy, right?
Yep.
There you go. All right, so now, so we know that gasket is going to be what it's going to be. Then we have our coolant hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me 2 gaskets. Why would they give you 2 gaskets, Josh?
So you can use them both.
So you can lower the compression. I don't even know. So that is pretty much self-explanatory. That gasket is only going to go on one way. You can't mess this up. And it makes me wonder if they just put extra gaskets in here, because them things are identical. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so be sure you take your, that's what you really don't want that in there, just for, okay, there's really no way to mess this up, which is good news for all of us that mess things up. All right. And just carefully push that gasket down. It's got a little locator button on there. You want to go ahead and pull this stuff out. Careful not to catch the gasket and rip it. That would be a real bummer. So, there's that piece.
Right. Spend more time on the tool. Than just spinning it.
Yeah, that's quite possible. So I think one of the things I thought would be a cool thing with this, where's that magnet or hook?
Hook. There's a little hook tool. It's not so much of a hook.
Yeah, that's really not going to help me.
Okay.
I need a hook that actually hooks it and holds the chain.
There's the magnet.
Well, the magnet will definitely hold it. I wish I knew where the strong magnet was.
Oh, you're on the outside of the guard.
I know, but I got to get the chain through first. All right. All right. All right. This is gonna. You gotta hold that. Don't do what I do.
Stab your
Be
cover
ready.
down with a wire.
No, you're okay to do that. All right. So now we are lined up ish. Man, I am struggling over here. Ooh. Because you don't want to break your ring. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's the first one. All right. Now, how are we doing on our second one? I have to turn this motor around so I can see. Further up in there. It's definitely that ring though. It's definitely that top ring. Ah, there it is.
Aha. Aha.
There it is.
Bam.
So, be patient. Patience. Okay. So the piston is on. So probably need to set that back for a minute. Okay. It only works one way. It will not work. It's not a bi-directional, omnidirectional gasket. Really, bro? It will only go on one way. All right.
This light's killing me.
So I'm imagining Here's a mistake. Can't put your can't torque the head on with these on. You see that wire, Josh?
Torque it while it's on the motor.
Correct.
Just edit that part out.
So, like I said, you really want to be careful putting these washers in, man. I can just see somebody dropping that down in the engine and having a really bad day.
That would definitely do it.
It really would do it. I suppose you could take some precautions and throw a rag in there.
Or just be careful.
Well, we'll have the engine back together today, Josh.
Yes.
At the very least. Oh. All right. All right, there's 30. That's probably close enough. All right. And then you want to go to 50.
Straighten it back out. Camera purposes. The oil on the bench doesn't help
Yeah.
with the sliding.
50 Newton meters.
Pretty tight.
Yep. Make sure that one's. Yep. Go here. What the heck? That's really strange how it's. That one's like solid. That one's solid. That one's solid.
Not so.
Huh? Not solid, yeah. Well, should we go around and just make sure one more time?
Might as well.
All right. Ooh, let's not do that. No. Alright.
Go. Well, we're dead in the water with clean audio until we get some more double A's. Whoa, jeez. There is still audio though.
How did I get that in there? That goes right there, right?
Right?
Wow, that's
It's tight going in.
How did I just do that? Right?
Yep. There you go.
Did I get it first shot? No way did I just get that first shot. Well, it doesn't take much for it to be off. We know that,
Yeah.
right?
Let's go the other way. Yeah. All right, let's look now, because that was
Quite a bit.
yep. There she is.
Yeah?
Yep, you're on it.
Bro, that was, I still don't know how I got that on. It's really weird, man. So if that is true, then
That's where you want to be.
right there, right?
Yep.
And then right there, right? The
Yep.
engine flange.
Yep. Gotta be.
Because if you move it either way,
One tooth either way, it's way off.
it makes it way off. So, oop. So it's got to be right there.
Yep. That's nice. It's nice how they do that.
It is.
Staying on the cam sprocket.
Boy, I was really struggling with that. It is a neat motor. I'll work our way from the middle out. I think we're good. Like that. So it can't turn.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Springs.
Yeah. outer space. Alright, so it's just like everyone I've ever dealt with. You
Crank it in,
screw it in,
bolt it
and
on.
it has a little. That's kind of how that works.
That's too small.
That is really too small. Well,
Guess
these
not.
are for the. I wonder if there's an up and a down on this thing.
There's an arrow.
What do you think?
I think that's how it goes.
Did it come out? Yep. I don't know how that happened, but there we go. And you have this little unit.
I like that you turned it the wrong way first. That was good.
You like that? Did that just for you? Alright. I think I'll just follow their suit. I don't know. It's really hard for me to just use parcel, you know?
All right.
And this is just Yama Bond. And they're all the same, really. Don't let anyone tell you different. And when it dries, you can pick this stuff off pretty easy. It's really not that complicated. And then we put, see what they did there? It's like some type of grease. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if like an electro. Oh, that's what those are for. Thank you, Jesus. Now I know what these are for. That was really on there. That's pretty hard though. What I do is keep water from getting it. I'll just do it in here. That's what it kind of looks like to me, is like in the dielectric grease, which would make sense. Now it'll fit. All right.
There you
Boom.
are.
So. See, there's a little place for the O-rings to fit inside.
This one fell.
Yeah. Probably needs restoration.
They all fell.
I think we're good.
Nice.
Right?
Torque spec on those.
10 Newton meters. All right, thanks for watching. Hey, hit me up. Let me know if there were some things that you liked, things that you didn't like, things I could have done better. We definitely learned some things, and that's kind of how it is when in our recovery. I've got 26 years in recovery now, and there's always something left to learn. Stay humble. I think that's a great rhythm to have in life. Definitely has taught me some things. Yeah, so let me know. I have other dirt bike stuff we can do. You want to see some more Sherco stuff? We have the Get ECU by Sherco, by Athena, really. Athena's the one that does it. We're thinking about messing with that, showing you a tutorial on what that looks like and how to load maps and etc. Because the Sherco is a keyless system, so it doesn't stay on long enough for you to load maps, things like that. I think we have some more content on other stuff too, trucks, cars, whatever, and all to share the journey with you. And be sure you hit like and subscribe, and again, love the interaction. Just hit me up, let me know. All right, thanks.